How's it going, Sagittarius community? Soul Tigers here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone who was patiently waiting, as I had to extend my time off by another month due to medical stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Before you retaliate, Sagittarius, stop. Think about it. What is it you're trying to prove? To whom are you trying to prove this to? Sometimes, Sag, you hold so much at bay to protect yourself, which could lead you to miss opportunities that don't come around often. This even goes for the things you manifest. This is a good time to practice inner reflection before you take action. Ooh-wee. And I really feel this right here. First thing that we see, something that's at the forefront of your mind, has to do with particular memories. Memories with someone in particular, a situation, something that you wanted to be gentle, something that you was hoping would be blossoming. Something you're not seeing is the windfall of events that are leading you to this particular situation or have led the situation to you. Remember, I was talking about this goes for even the things that you manifest. You could be putting stuff out there into the ethers, into the universes, wishing upon a star, and then the universe answers, divine answers. But your reactions are the same as before. Defense. And I think this is why the change or changing your mind card is out right now. Sometimes you really want something, then something comes in and you're like, oh no, never mind. And it just depends on how you're doing it. If you're retaliating, or if you're just trying to get away from it, or pretending that it's not even there. But something that needs to be worked on is grief work. There's something that's still that's tied to these memories that you're going to have to do the work of releasing it, letting it go. So when these things come in that you're manifesting, you are able to accept these gifts. Take the next step now. It's time to put one foot, metaphorically, in front of the other when it comes to the spiritual work. That inner reflection. To whom are you trying to prove something to? Are you trying to prove something to yourself? Are you trying to prove something to another? Maybe if it has to do with another, you're trying to prove that it's not that easy to get that close to you because you don't want anything to come in that's full of folly. You don't want anything to come in that is going to hurt you. A lot of times when we're overprotective of ourselves, it's because there's a fear of being hurt again. Family changes. The dynamics of our life change throughout the years, through our different phases. And that will happen in the home as well. Think about it. Your 2-year-old who eventually turns into a 14-year-old, you can't treat them like a 2-year-old. You have to adapt to those changes as they go through the different phases of their lives. This is something, again, that can happen in the household. This can happen in just community settings, whether it's work or a place of your hobby, somewhere that you frequent. Now we have something here, seeking and finding. A lot of times when it comes to protecting ourselves, we'll find reasons to be hard on ourselves. And that could have something to do with how old you are. Maybe you feel like it's too late for something. Or maybe you feel like something's impossible just because of where you're at in the phase of life that you're in. But I'm hearing that's for the birds. That is not for you. That is not applicable in this situation. Things come in at their own timing that they're meant to come in. So right now, accepting yourself for who you are. Maybe you felt like you've wasted so much time between what has happened with these memories up until now, and you feel like it's too late for you. Maybe that's a part of the grief work here that needs to happen. And taking that next step. Oh my goodness, this is already pulling out my heartstrings, Sagittarius. Woo! Sagittarius, you are such a strong, rebelling type of energy with those inner philosophies of life. You are constantly learning. You're constantly trying to find the root of the meaning to the things that have happened to you. But sometimes those meanings get muddled. They get muddled because they get filtered through these inner filters that we have of criticizing ourselves, being hard on ourselves, self-blaming, because we felt like we should have known. We should have been wise enough. But hey, I don't remember any of my other human experiences. Do you? Then how would you know? How would you know to do better? How would you know to do differently? Let's keep going. Thank you, spirit guides and ancestors, for that introduction. So this has to do with others. I'll tell you what, because definitely felt like this Friends Tarot deck was going to be the most fitting when it comes to things. Maybe there's somebody that you're interacting with, some ones that you're interacting with. Maybe you're thinking about taking a different dive into things when it comes to your career, your personal life, whatever it is. There's things that you've been manifesting and it's starting to present itself to you. And as I said, here we are, 3 of Cups, wanting to celebrate with others to the world, holding optimism that this can happen. But at the same time, there's those memories of past events with past people that sent things off in a different direction. With the World card, that's Saturn energy. I got confused for a second. So World card, Saturn, Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter. So definitely old habits, things that we used to seek security. Maybe there was certain relationships that we were trying to have security in, and it didn't happen because there were certain attachments to it. Attachments that held people back. But for some reason, you got out of those attachments. You got out of those relationships, whether with people, places, and or things. Because even though you're confused about some of the decisions, some of the things that happened, you were still holding optimism. Whether it's optimism that you could be treated better, optimism that you could gain more, going somewhere else, or leveling up when it comes to the different people, groups, places of work that you were frequenting at, or you felt like you were stuck in. So let's continue on this journey. A lot comes when it comes to changing your mind, seeking and finding, and family changes. That is something that's really weighing heavily on your mind. It comes to family changes. The phase that you're in right now. You're confused on how bad of a mama jamma you are, how you've been able to take pennies and turn them into the successes, the things that you have around you. Even though sometimes you could feel really, really down on your luck. But at other times, you see how you can make things happen, getting yourself out of the cold. It's a lot of 5s here right away. So let's read this 5 energy. 555, a sign of transformation. Major life changes are on the way. And this lands on the family changes. So this doesn't mean somebody's going to get pregnant, we're going to have some kids right away, but there could be an impregnancy in the energy when it comes to bringing in a new fertile kind of energy, change, great ideas, maybe a different philosophy when it comes to how you're looking at things, when you're entering this new phase of your life, because I feel like this is what's happening for you, Sagittarius. And I would say that the phases don't come in, say, every 10 years. And when you're in your 20s, you hit a phase. When you're in your 30s, you hit a phase. I think the phases depend on the individuals and their growths and just what's happening around them, you know, different steps that they're taking, how they're analyzing their life. So definitely I think that Sagittarius has been doing a lot of work, and you're getting ready to enter a totally different phase, but you don't want to take the old into the new. You don't want to be weighed down with the old. This is why the grief work is a must. There's something here you have to learn still. And after saying all of that, definitely justice. Taking action with this Four of Cups. So we went from the Five of Cups to the Four of Cups now. Taking action. Where is it that you want to be? How do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And investing in that stability, the trueness of what you want. Sometimes what I'm hearing, life is a gamble, and sometimes you gotta get up and you gotta roll those dice, take a chance, whatever it is. If it's a fear of rejection, you're gonna have to confront this fear by means of getting rejected, or even going towards something that you feel like is going to reject you. This is how you start to invest in yourself, start to invest in new things that you want to go towards. Say that it is a fear of doing something different. Say somebody's really unhappy in their career and they're not sure how to get out of it. Well, taking an investment into going back to school, or even taking the investment and putting in footwork, researching what it is that you want to do, what is igniting your passions. And again, doing that footwork instead of trying to hold these changes at bay. How can we welcome them? How can we confront the fear? Because there's something here at this moment that you definitely feel blocked. You feel stuck and you're not feeling successful, even though there is so much that you have conquered. There's something here that you are seeking and you want to find. But again, you're holding stuff at bay. When it comes to you overlooking the different things in your life, when it comes to you being able to go within, to sit with yourself, to sit with this energy of what it is that you really want, that you're manifesting, versus the things that you're really hard on yourself about. If this has to do with love, Sagittarius, I was on some Google stuff the other day, just Googling some stuff, and I was reading on the Reddit, and Reddit was very interesting because I was actually going in and asking about certain kind of like relationship dynamics. I'm not gonna lie. And it was amazing to see that people in their 70s were still dating. People in their 50s are still dating, you know. I see different success stories where people are starting new careers even in their 30s. They're starting new careers in their 40s, or they're even making changes on the things that they really want to work on in their 50s. So don't let the age thing hold you back from the things that you're actually manifesting. Because with this, you have a certain wisdom within you that you're going to take with you to these places. And you may find something really interesting that kind of helps start putting that puzzle together for you, and why you're being drawn to this, or why something's being drawn to you through a windfall of events. Ooh, today's positive affirmation actually really fits this story, Sagittarius. It was talking about believing in the flow of the divine, the flow of life. And I felt like if you didn't believe in the optimism of life, even though at times life had been hard for you, you wouldn't have been able to get to this point right now. Even though emotionally you don't feel successful, what you don't see is this Queen of Cups energy when it comes to how you've been evolving yourself, especially when it comes to the interactions with others. Ooh, my goodness. All right, so let's call in our angels of protection, Sagittarius, because we're going to explore this shadow side a wee bit. We're going to talk about the things that you don't like to put out in the open. So, angels of protection, please help keep us safe and guide us as we navigate Sagittarius's shadow side. Oh my goodness, this is very fitting again with that Four of Wands coming out right away on the family changes, on the Ace of Pentacles, and then we have this Eight of Wands on the Four of Cups talking about that movement. You're having a hard time facing this movement, this energy that's coming in kind of quick towards you. Really, really quick towards you, whatever it is. So something else that you're not seeing, it's really hard for you to see, is how much you've been growing. How much that you still work on everything as if you've just started. But I feel like you've had success, you've had stability. Why? Because you keep going for it. And this speaks about the different choices that you've made in your life. Even though you may be down in one area and having a hard time with it, there's other areas of your life that you've been able to continue to grow, to make headway in. But there's just this one side that you're having a hard time with. We have this Page of Cups energy here. Maybe there's some kind of emotional abandonment that we have felt since a younger age. And maybe this kind of really affects our magic when it comes to us being able to manifest, but also accepting what we have manifested as it's coming in. Then we have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands, Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands came out with the Devil card. And there was one other card with it when I was cleansing the deck for the present moment. So this has to speak about these defenses. And I feel like you have like one or two extremes when it comes to your defenses. One is, do I lay everything down and just let this person in, let this thing in, let whoever walk over me? Or do I keep everything high up so that nobody can get in, or whatever it is has to really put in work? There's no happy medium here. There's no just like lowering them a wee bit so you can see what's happening outside and stuff like that, but also so that you could have a conversation, say, with a good neighbor. You just feel like, again, it has to be one of the two extremes. Very stuck with this Four of Swords. Stuck thinking about past things that took time to get over, past things that took a lot of energy for you to walk away from. These past things, you could reflect on how you weren't as knowledgeable, I think I want to say, or how you weren't acknowledging certain things back then, that now you see all the different signs that led up to those points. Hard about how everything has been traditionally working out when it comes to situations with others. Oh my goodness gracious. Sounds like you need to get some new traditions here. But in order to get new traditions, you have to start practicing something different. And the thing is what has happened in the past was meant to happen. And if you could see how, because of that past situation, you learn different things about yourself. One of them being what you're not going to deal with. Ooh, right? So if it comes to your manifestations coming in towards you and you already know what you're not going to deal with, then why do you have this outlook that in order to deal with something, you have to put all your defenses down and let them walk all over you? That doesn't have to be. That doesn't. Like I said, you can let something in gradually. Think about like in your home. Before you let somebody into your home per se, you have to know who they are. All right. So then if you know who they are, you trust them a wee bit, you're going to let them into the door. You'll let them into the front room. But if you don't know them that well, you're not going to let them throughout your home. But as you get to know whoever this is and you build that trust with them, you start to let them into different parts of your home. This is kind of like that situation. Nobody's saying that you have to give your trust right away. What it's saying is you can build up that trust. But in order to build it, you kind of have to lower these defenses a little bit so that you can see what it's doing, so that you can have conversations with it. Be able to start making those moves to getting curious, to wanting to explore things. And when a person goes exploring, they got to have the tools ready to defend themselves just in case they run into danger. So again, this isn't saying that you have to leave yourself defenseless and for somebody to be able to come in and take advantage of you because this is something that you're manifesting. No. Whatever it is, it's here to help you work through whatever has these barriers up so high. And it's to help you work through feeling like you're not competent enough to be able not to make the same mistakes as before. I like that. I like that a lot for it being the shadow side. Thank you, angels of protection. All right, so let's keep moving forward. We're going to call in divine and universal energy. What are the positive messages that need to come out for the Sagittarius community? I don't know, whatever this is that you're manifesting, whether it's a person, place, and or thing, I don't know. It may be doing a little bit more to get your attention. And maybe that's something that has you drawn back a little. Sagittarius. What is it when you start to get close to something you're manifesting that has you drawing back? That is something to reflect on. Reflect on it when it comes about, when it comes to you having to deal with it. So something right here when it comes to the past and the others of the past is meditate and contemplate. This is very fitting because we're going to have the Pisces new moon come out on March 18th this year. And this is the new moon card right here. So Pisces is all about a transcendence energy, but it's also about our imagination, how we see ourselves and how we think that the world sees us. And with the transcendent energy, it's to help us be able to put an end to old things so that we can go towards the new things in life, the new chapters that we want to sit here and start writing in our book of life. So sitting with yourself, contemplating what was the past, what lessons you learned of the past, and how you have permission not to go and make the same mistakes as before. Your dreams need a practical plan. What I'm hearing to say, do not get wishy-washy with the universe. Universe doesn't like that. What you're manifesting, again, will come in. But it isn't going to come in all the time. What I'm hearing is the story of the boy who cried wolf. In that story, this boy loved attention and would cry wolf. And the townspeople would come running. And they would find that the boy was playing a trick. There was no wolf. Where after so many times of this boy crying wolf, everybody stopped answering. Even on the day when there really was a wolf. And I would say this, if you want to manifest these things, but yet you keep denying it, you keep running from it, you keep overly protecting yourself from it, when the universe, when divine is answering you, then you will put yourself in such a routine that when it comes to you manifesting anything else, it's going to go right over your head. Why? Because you didn't strengthen that communication when it comes to the divine, when it comes to your guides, when it comes to your ancestral and angel energies that you have around you. Now, something that we need to come to terms with if we are ready to keep moving forward and doing that grief work is there's powerful change that needs to happen, especially when it comes to the traditions of things, how we look at things, how we think about things, how we think about the things that we once loved, the things that we really wanted to have close to us, the things that we want to relate to us. Something else is a time for healing. That is one of the investments that you need to make when you go within your emotions. When you're trying to fill out what it is that you have to do this grief work on. We have to heal it. We have to heal it so we can welcome whatever's coming in. And one of the biggest things here for you, Sagittarius, is bringing love into the situation. Pouring into yourself. I'll tell you what. So a little bit of the mythology behind Aquarius has to do with a prince that Zeus was absolutely obsessed about. This prince was a good-looking prince. And Zeus kind of like kidnapped him and took him up to Mount Olympus to be the water bearer for the gods. So I want you to acknowledge how good-looking you are, how you are a bad mama jamma, where people kind of want to swoop you up and take you to their kingdoms. And where I'm getting at that is it doesn't just have to be in relationships. This could be career-wise as well. I mean, there could be a certain thing that you do within your family that has other people from different families, not idolizing, but really admiring the energy that you bring into your home. Really pour into yourself and understand how much of a bad mama jamma you are, because whatever you're manifesting sees it. It sees it, it sees it, it sees it. And this could be the reason why certain things are being drawn to you right now. Take time to breathe out. And be gentle with yourself. You are more successful than what you see. You are a hot commodity. And that was one of the first things I wanted to say to Sagittarius since the beginning of this story. But it is. You are a hot commodity wherever you go, because you put your full force into it. Full force when it comes to loving things, when it comes to being loyal to things, when it comes to showing up, when it comes to basically riding whatever it is till the wheels fall off and then some. You want a stubborn sign? Sagittarius can be one of the stubbornest signs out there. Even though everybody says Taurus and Aries are stubborn, you ever met a Sagittarius that had a certain goal on their mind? They focus, that's what it is, that's what they become loyal to, even if it's hurting them. And I think that's what happened in this past here, and I think that's what you're worried about, Sagittarius. So let's do some grief work. Let's see how you're this bad mama jamma. And just know you are allowed to protect yourself, but you're also allowed to explore. You're allowed to let things in and protect yourself at the same time. All right, Sagittarius, this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank Divine, Universal, your angels, your ancestors, your spirit guides for coming on in and helping out with all these positive messages. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.